Morning, fan club. Alright, it's early. I wanna go on about my situation really because it's so fucked up. And to be fair, I think I have a right to be pissed off with the police, mate. Because not only did I say this over 10 fucking years ago, what was going on, what was happening, the levels of crime and the sheer determination to either get me in trouble or get to me was apparent even then, and if it had been listened to, we wouldn't have got this far. So for the fact now we're dealing with a problem that I predicted and said, if the police had done their job when I originally said 10 years ago, none of this would have happened. So a lot of this, and it's not just a slip up, it's corruption. Of course it fucking is. How else are you going to explain losing an x-ray that you can reobtain? I'm telling you, there's a whole bunch of them that are corrupt down in Sussex Police, and it's because they're employed from the local area, and those drug networks are coming out of Tideway School. Those criminals, career criminals that are hardened, that have been to prison. They know all the other criminals up and down the UK, and they're better connected than the police. Are you sure? They're embarrassing the police. It's not good at all. And if you're not related to a member of the police and you're a criminal, then you're obviously going to seek them out, aren't you? You don't think that these people have vices in the police? You don't think that that could be exploited? I'm telling you, if there's leverage, it's got to happen. So the mere fact that the system's geared up the way it is, with the drugs being illegal, no one's thought to stop and think, well, hang on a minute, that could undermine us. Or perhaps they have, and that's the reason that they want to make the money. Either way, it's unscrupulous, you know? There's people in communities genuinely suffering with these drugs in our communities, and they've done fuck all to get rid of them. And the people in charge are going around and causing misery. I don't know, to be honest, I think my gripe with the police is justified. And let's not even start about family, because they're fucking arseholes as well. Like, you know, my aunt's a cunt, my uncle's a cunt, my uncle's a fucking idiot. He doesn't have two brain cells to rub together. He's never had a job in his fucking life, and he ponces off my nan. When I was living there, working, I had a job. I was doing everything I could to integrate into society, and his fathead come along with my cousins and aunt. I just moved him in with no forewarning or anything like that. Just turned up on the day and out on your ear. Well, didn't even do that. He just started harassing me. Like, literally, wouldn't leave me alone. Like, just made my life a living hell until I fucking had to move out. But me being resilient, obviously I stayed, so I had to put up with it for like, what, a year, 2 years or something? Until one day he fucking went for me. He went for fucking me. What the fuck is wrong with people? All these people attacking me, going for me. I've got a broken arm. I don't do shit. I stay away from that. I'll sit in the corner quietly and hide. Roam the streets like I have done. And yet I'm the criminal. It's fucking bullshit. Of course it is. I've been treated horrendously by everyone. I don't know what everyone's fucking problem is. You lack empathy. It's shocking to think. How the rest of my family let my uncle do that. And then to make matters worse, I got my fucking idiot of an aunt ringing me, having a go at me when I'm at work, how I was upsetting Gordon, his precious little socks. What a fucking idiot. He's never had a job. He's dodgy as fuck. So he's got 2 houses, one of which he transferred into my nan's name, and then he had to transfer back. So he's living off the rent money. The whole system is geared up to screw over people who can't afford rent, and you got people like him and other landlords that are creaming money off the top when rent's what, 700-800 for a shitty studio? How are we supposed to live when you've got people like that who are just sitting on his arse all day claiming that money? It doesn't make any sense. He should be forced to go to have a work. It shouldn't be legal for landlords to make money off fucking just people living. A home is a basic human necessity. So what they're going to do is what they're doing to rent and stuff with food next, are they? It's not on, I'm telling you, it's fucked up. Why have we let the system become like this? I'm telling you, there needs to be big changes in this country, like, because currently it's not looking good. I look across the pond and I look to other countries and things, and I'm not seeing the issues they're facing here. And a lot of it is it's just, I don't know, it's so far beyond repair. That coupled with the corrupt police officers, because that's my worry, because if you're a corrupt police officer, you've got far too much power. My bank accounts were stopped. For what? For what? You know, just to literally make my life hard so I didn't have nowhere to go or can't afford nowhere to live. Highly illegal. And then it'll just be covered up. And then when you complain about it, it's the same force dealing with the complaint who you're making the accusations against. So of course it's going to get swept under the cover, under the carpet. I saw the BBC Panorama Corrupt Police Officers, and that's what they're like. They like look after your own. It will be a case of they'll try and cover it up. Of course they will. They're your colleagues, you know. You work with them day in, day out. So it'd be very easy to skew the picture or misinform people to a degree, and then this happens. And that's exactly what happened. The minute I was had my arm broken and that was covered up. How that could happen in broad daylight, much like this, in broad daylight. A guy with an iron bar, Darren Payne, you can look him up, he's a thug. You look at him, take one fucking look, he's involved in the coke trade and all that sort of stuff. He's laundering money through that landscaping business because he's got affiliation to Chris McGrath, who runs the Pussycat Club in Brighton, who launders money through the Pussycat Club. He's an accountant, he's connected to the wider drug network, I'm telling you. You look at all of the local area, of course he's got affiliate. I bet money the police officers have been in that Pussycat Club and had a little chat with him, you know? So, it doesn't take a genius to work out what's gone on. As I say, 10 years ago I was going on about this shit and how I was facing these issues. Like multiple emails to the police. So many weird events. All covered up, all played, and I could reel off names that I know that are bent in the Sussex Police Force. I can name and shame right now. There's fucking loads of them I know. They're all involved in drugs in some capacity, or certainly, what is it, 3 circles removed or some shit? 100%. So either way, the police have just been like crucifying me. And they will continue to, of course they will. It does leave me with very few options, you know. I don't really know what to say. I try not to speak about it, but look, I don't think there's much time left, so now's my chance, I think, innit? I don't get how no one's overseen this. Even very early on, you know, as I say, I've been hit by a car, I've been fucking stalked like day and night, like by fucking my actions maybe, or my movements, should I say. My movements are closely followed and have been for years. Like every time I went to uni there was issues I was followed about, and not by the uni lot, it's all fucking people come following me into the uni. When I was first homeless, they well, I say first, it wasn't even the first, but when I was homeless living in my caravan, constantly. That old boy, there's that Alan Fry from the Coast Watch. Jess and the Band of Merry Men had obviously approached people in the local area and got this old boy to fucking have a grievance with me. So this fucking old boy, he wouldn't leave me alone. Like day and night, he's standing outside my caravan and my property, my bit of land that I own. All sorts of weird shit. This is well beyond, like, fucking years before any of this shit. Why at that point, when I was jumping up and down, quite clearly, like, making valid points, why was none of that listened to then? It's corruption, it was played down. And it wasn't up until the point when these break-ins happened that probably the higher-ups in the police force in Sussex probably thought, shit, we've got to do something now, because obviously they're going to look into the dog and they're going to ask why wasn't the dog sorted? Why wasn't the broken arm sorted? Why wasn't he being hit by a car sorted? It asks too many questions, so it's easier now to run with whatever narrative they want to write than look at those crimes, because it highlights the fact that there's so many failings and corruption, and the police officers don't want to end up going inside, which they will, of course they will. Like, there's no way you could get away with doing the stuff that they've been doing to me. And if they dig deeper, she's on the payroll in some capacity. They'll be paying her cash, or I imagine she probably takes fucking coke, so she'll be getting free gear. There's a bunch of them. That Mitchell as well, he's heavy into the drug game. I had a ring from one of my mates and I had to go and do the cropping. So we trim up all the leaves of the weed of the big grows. It wasn't my fucking grow, like literally he just chucked me a bit of weed just to sit there and trim it. But it was obviously that Mitchell's fucking involvement or whatever. And I believe he's got relatives in the police as well, judging by who I've been speaking with. And you take one look at them as well, and their eyes, like usually is giveaway, they're all bang on it. You fucking cokeheads. It's funny, because you wait. Let's see what you're like after 10 years on that. Well, I think that's the case in some of the officers. Like Kat, I imagine if she's been on it for that long, that's probably why she's so fucking hot-headed, as I say. She probably thinks, shit, right, I could outsmart this situation, or I think it's beyond that now, I think a little bit. I think if you were doing wrong, I think it's only a matter of time before you fucking get found out. And I think fucking good, you know? You're going around causing this misery in community, traumatising people, because I'm not the first person that I've heard about this sort of shit happening to at the hands of Sussex police. There was a guy that got framed for fucking stabbing someone, and the police officer grabbed a knife from his kitchen. He forgot to stab the stab vest though. This guy spent 6 weeks in prison. He didn't even stab anyone. And there's multiple ones. I know several instances. There was a guy around my area in Downland, I can't even remember his name, but due to police involvement and the students from that school around the area, because I was young then as well, I was like fucking 15, 16, so he could have been only a little bit older. But you'd ask him for a cigarette, even if you had him in the box, and go, no, I ain't got none. He'd just fucking believe you, because he was that fucking far gone, because he'd been bullied and fucking just harassed by the police and the local bullies that went to the school. They're psychos, they get off on it. They think that you can bully and pester and psychologically damage someone because you're psychologically damaged. True mark of a psycho. What happened to them exactly, I couldn't be sure, because I haven't actually met them. But it's the network of people in that area. And I'd imagine it's exonerated, is that the right word? I think that's wrong. Accelerated, I don't know. It's still early, people, so you've got to bear with me. I haven't even had my morning smoke. It's certainly made worse by the drugs. As I say, a lot of these people in these areas, that's why work is good, right? You go and you do a 9 to 5. You haven't got time to do like fucking antisocial shit. You get home, you're too tired, but you've got money and you can go away. You can fucking go on holiday. You can buy nice things. And I don't think they understand that, or they're willing to go down that route. So they think they can just sit on their asses all day, bang loads of gear up their nose or whatever, inevitably fall into the trade to start fucking pushing it around. And they ain't got to worry, and they'll just like stay under the radar for years, not contributing to society in any way. But then that obviously hinders the people that are wanting to do that. And the problem is, where the ones that don't want to do that cause so much fucking aggro, it's easier just to fucking let them crack on and run the show. And I think that's what's happened a lot with my situation, because I was in fucking Green Court for like 3 fucking years, or maybe even longer than that. Saying that, like the whole time I was there, all the shit that was going on, nothing was ever done, and it was easier just to believe the retrobates than it was to actually sit back and have a look and objectively go, well, hang on a minute. You got one motherfucker here who's getting like proper good grades, which, how's he doing that? Well, I would assume he's spending lots of time studying. Well, hang on, if he's studying, I think that's his main priority. How is that never the thought process? Who are they employing? And that sort of leads me back to the whole corruption thing. Because 100% they were sitting there, flicking their beans, like stroking their meat, like getting up on it. Of course they were. They're like, this little shit's getting it, innit? And what sort of psycho does that? Like, I can't personally understand it, because why be so sadistic? It makes no sense. And this predates everything before that. We're talking years ago, before any of this shit happened, about the time when I was saying these guys won't stop harassing me until something bad happens. And then it just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and then the police fucking started getting involved, and then they jumped on the harassment, which again further makes me think it's corruption, because how the fuck are they going to join in? What the fuck, you know? Like, so everything that I've just spent fucking years complaining about, they've gone down with a highlighter, gone, right, that annoys him, that annoys him. I had one of them ask me, what are your triggers? Are you fucking sure? Who asked that? Like, yeah, I want to ask your triggers so I can annoy the shit out of you. Are you... That's not normal. That is not normal. It's laughable, because who asked that? It's a sign of a really damaged person. Who wants to go through life just pissing people off? Why would you want to know the triggers? I think it was played down by I want to avoid them, but look, if you're an intuitive, observant person, and I think that's the problem, not many people are, and I kind of assume that everyone is, and I think that might be a lot of my problem. I just automatically assume people are of a certain intellect and would understand. But you're going to witness, if you upset someone, micro expressions, whatever, and if you're not attuned to it, learn to be attuned to it. Emotional intelligence is important in this day and age. Not everything is said, you know. That's why there are issues with mental health and men don't want to speak. If you can see when someone's like upset or they're talking and you say, oh yeah, you're alright, and they're like, yeah, I'm fine. You know that person deep down. You've got to tactfully approach the situation, and maybe everyone's just wrapped up in their own fucking lives and no one gives a shit. Maybe that's the problem. But again, that brings me back to my point about then society must need to change, because I don't ever remember. I know I was younger, but none of it makes sense to me. It's all very worrying. Anyway, listen, I thought I'd just make a video. I've got a new phone, so I thought I'd test it all out. Hope everyone's alright. Hope everyone's missing me, because I miss everyone. This is bullshit. The doggo says hello. It is. Yeah. Let's see what today's fun and games bring. Alright, I love you all, bye.